Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go absolutely wild with more Overwatch speculation. This time, though, we're going to go crazy. We're going to go into what I think is going to happen in the upcoming Numbani Unity Day cinematic. Oh, Lord. All right, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is from the Recall cinematic. Look at this. Numbani postpones annual Unity Festival after anonymous threat. But check this out. This was published on the 21st of March, 2016, almost a year ago. So does that mean we are going to get a Numbani Unity Festival cinematic on the 1 year anniversary, or very close to the 1 year anniversary of the Recall cinematic? Maybe we are, but I'll tell you something, if you load up the PTR right now, you get new menu music. Check this out. Oh lordy lordy lord. Now, people think this is Doomfist music, but is this actually Doomfist music? Well, we've heard this before on the very first Overwatch cinematic that was released. Check this out.
Conflict. As the world teetered on the brink of anarchy, a new hope arose. An elite international task force charged with ending the war and restoring liberty to all nations. Overwatch.
So if anything, you could actually call that Omnic Crisis music. Anyway, what about the Gauntlet? Well, there is a Reddit user who goes by the name of OW Mapper, and he has found these models. These show the smashed Gauntlet container, but the Gauntlet is still actually in the container on the payload. Why that is, we don't actually know. Maybe somebody tried to steal the Gauntlet, didn't actually get away with it. I don't know, or it could just be to give purpose to the Numbani map still.
Guidance systems. There will be the difference in destroying the hated Omnics.
Tell me we're still on schedule. The Omnium will not wait for us to be ready before they attack again. Our first new mechs in a decade. This will ensure the future of Russia.
So Volskaya has new mechs. Now what this is doing is, well, it's very interesting. It's showing that the Russians are gearing up for an attack. They have brand new technology, but where the hell did they get this technology from? And how the hell does this tie into Numbani? Well, I'm going to highlight all of this and go into detail on it in this video. So this technology looks pretty powerful. Kills Reaper, whatever. Well, knocks him out.
Tell me, what would happen if the people of Russia learned that their defender against the Omnics was actually getting her tech from the enemy? What would that do to the future of Russia?
So, we know Volskaya is getting her technology from Omnics. We can see some sort of Omnic power source or something being given to her by an Omnic agent. Now, Sombra knows about this. This was the whole point of the Infiltration cinematic, where Sombra gets Volskaya to effectively work for her. And when Sombra needs help, she's going to call Volskaya, and Volskaya is going to come. But Volskaya is getting technology from the Omnics, which is obviously not great because the Russians hate them.
Clock ticking, amiga. What do you want? The most powerful woman in Russia? I've always wanted a friend like that. So I'm thinking, I don't let these images appear on every holovid in the world. And you help out your new friend every now and then. What do you say? As if I had the choice. Now what, friend? I'll be in touch. Boop. Mission failed. Target escaped.
This is Sombra's web, which is taken from Sombra's origin story cinematic. This is absolutely insanely interesting. If you look at this, we have got direct connections to something in the middle, some sort of eye. Maybe that's the Omniums or the Omnics or the God programs. Who even knows what that is? We don't know yet. But if we look at these areas, it's very interesting. We can see Volskaya. We can see Volskaya is connected to Numbani, which is like obviously right next to Volskaya there. But we can also see this thing. That there, I'm pretty sure that's the power source, what Volskaya was taking off the Omnics. Check that out. But what's more interesting is look at this. Look at Sombra on the Hero Select screen. She's actually looking, like, she's looking right at that. So this plays a very powerful, like, story component in possibly what's going to happen in Numbani, because Numbani is connected to Volskaya according to Sombra's little web. And check this out. This is one of those crazy Russian mechs, Savaskator, or whatever they're called. I can't pronounce them. Big Russian mech. Look what's in the middle of it. That must be the power source. This new Omnic technology must be what is powering these ridiculous robots. So we can see Volskaya, Numbani, and Talon are all connected together through the gauntlet and through that crazy power source.
Do you know why you are here?
I believe I do.
Check this out. This is from a very early Overwatch cinematic. This is Tracer fighting on Numbani. That's all it shows you. But look at this. I think this is a Talon dropship firing missiles at Tracer. So maybe Tracer will take part in the Numbani cinematic to do with the Doomfist. I mean, look at this. This is from Alive. That is a Talon dropship. They look very similar. I mean, it could easily be an Omnic dropship. Who knows? Let's go into crazy detail on what we've just seen. And let's address the Zarya clip, which I showed you. Because Zarya, she believes she knows what she wants from Volskaya, but there is no way on earth that Volskaya would tell Zarya she's taking Omnic technology. Zarya absolutely hates the Omnic, so it's not about that. I think it's just simply about Zarya being deployed somewhere to fight Omnics or to do something, and this is probably what Volskaya is going to do. Now, this is where we go absolutely crazy. What do we need in Overwatch? We need the head of the bad guy organization. We do not know who is in control of Talon, so it would make sense that a guy called Doomfist is in charge of Talon, right? The thing is, though, Doomfist has had various different incarnations of him. It's not the same person. It's a different person. Whoever takes the gauntlet is Doomfist. So to call somebody Doomfist before they've actually got the gauntlet, it kind of doesn't make any sense. So whoever this person is who is in charge of Talon, maybe they show up during the Unity Day celebration while Lucio is putting on his ridiculously beautiful show, as is advertised all over the map in the Unity Plaza, no doubt. Doomfist shows up, but this time, I'm going to call him Doomfist. The Talon guy shows up, right? Who is basically Doomfist because he wants his gauntlet. Reaper does refer to him as Doomfist. Where's Doomfist when you need him? So maybe they do just call him Doomfist. Who knows, right? So Doomfist turns up. He wants his gauntlet. He turns up with Talon, so he's there with the dropships, like we've seen Tracer getting attacked by. He also brings Widowmaker, and he also brings Reaper. We know this because he deployed Reaper and Widowmaker to the first museum that you see in the Overwatch Reveal cinematic, where they try to get the gauntlet, but they actually fail. So this time, what he's going to do is he's going to come himself, and he's also going to bring his Talon forces with him to make sure he gets the gauntlet. And I firmly believe he absolutely gets the gauntlet and takes it home. So the whole point of the Numbani map is to transfer the gauntlet to the Heritage Museum. This is because the gauntlet is no longer safe in the original museum. That's what we've been doing over the last year, trying to transport all those payloads to the museum, right? Is to bring the gauntlet to the museum, back to Numbani, where the original Doomfist came from, so it can be nice and secure. Well, Talon know this, and the current Doomfist, whoever the hell that is, know this as well, so they're going to turn up. But we also know that, well, Sombra doesn't really like Doomfist. Sombra doesn't really like Talon. We can tell this from Sombra's web. So what Sombra is probably going to do, now this is where we go crazy and we start using insane speculation, is she calls upon Volskaya to deploy the Russian Omnic-powered robots to Numbani with Zarya. That's why Zarya was there at the end of the infiltration cinematic, because she was about to be dispatched to wherever the hell she was going to go to, which I think is going to be Numbani. This is to stop Talon, Reaper, Widowmaker from taking the gauntlet, because Sombra really doesn't want them to have it for some reason. We're still not sure of the way Sombra is aligned. We know Sombra is just against evil conglomerates and large organizations, so maybe that's why she's got an issue with, well, Talon, or maybe that's why she's got an issue with Omnics. We don't actually know. The cinematic itself, I think this is going to completely be, not a rip-off, but it's going to be a remake of the original cinematic in the museum. This time, though, it's going to be much louder, much bigger, and there's going to be loads of heroes involved. Now, let's look at who we think is going to be involved. Probably Lucio, because he's going to be there during the Unity Day celebrations. Tracer, maybe, because she was there with that early footage in Numbani for some reason. Talon agents are going to be there, so that means we're going to see Reaper, we're going to see Widowmaker. Are we going to see Winston again? Maybe he turns up to help out. Zarya, maybe we're going to see Zarya. Are we going to see Sombra? Now this is getting a bit ridiculous, like we don't have any cinematics with that many numbers of heroes in, but maybe they're about to change, because this, I think, is going to be the very first sort of this animated short is going to kick off the first in-game lore-specific seasonal event. This isn't going to be any kind of like, oh, it's Valentine's Day or whatever. It's a real-world event. No, this is an Overwatch event, and this I think is going to be a major turning point in the story of Overwatch. So what will probably happen is there's a large celebration going on for Unity Day. Lucio is there, and it's all going fine. Suddenly, Talon turn up with their dropships. Reaper and Widowmaker drop down to try and steal the gauntlet. They maybe partially get the gauntlet, but then Doomfist has to sort of step up and take the gauntlet himself. While he's doing this, Volskaya's forces land with Zarya to try and stop this because Sombra doesn't want Talon to have the gauntlet. And I think that's probably what we're going to see, this massive fight, and at the end it'll probably be revealed who Doomfist is if we don't see him throughout the cinematic. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go absolutely crazy in the comments below. I am really enjoying making these lore videos. Actually, looking into the lore of Overwatch is super interesting. I haven't really done it in much detail until, well, the last couple of weeks, but it is so interesting. At first, I thought, you know, it doesn't actually have that much lore. It's kind of simplistic. And in some ways it is, but in other ways, there are these little details all over the place, and they can add up to something totally ridiculous. And we know that Blizzard like to tease stuff in advance of it actually happening. So, hopefully, we're going to see something major within the next, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks. Was sort of the 21st of March. That is kind of the date I'm putting in my book for the new, I'm going to call it just the Doomfist cinematic, because that's probably what it's going to be. The other thing it could be is some sort of new Omnic uprising. If you look at Numbani, Numbani is a place where humans and Omnics live together in harmony. Maybe the Omnics decide to go crazy because one of the god programs, these are the programs which are under quarantine, or most of them are. Temple of Anubis, there's one there which is being secured by Helix Security. Those are rogue sort of AI which can control Omnics and make them attack humans. So maybe there's some sort of uprising there, and maybe that's why we've got this new menu music. Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. Leave your theories and comments below, and I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.